Welcome everyone, Sir HeroScape here today, coming at you with a review of the Epic Maps Building Contest. We have 9 submissions, and today we are selecting one winner. I plan on going through each of the files, reading up on the scenarios, and just doing a live stream selection so we can get the winner announced, and then this weekend use that map for the awesome event that will be happening this weekend. So I wasn't able to get the HSC from everybody, so we'll do our best to look at the files that we do have, and we'll, for those that we do have the HSC file for, we'll take a little bit of a deeper dive. That doesn't give anyone any more advantage over the other. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to look at them live. So let's jump right in here. As a review, let's go and just cover kind of what this is all about. So again, for those that have forgotten, I was holding an Epic Maps Building Contest this last 2 weeks actually. Oh, looks like that's not good. I'm getting a system error on viruses. I don't know what that's about. Either that's a scam or that's real. I don't know. We'll find out. So $25 prize. Submissions were yesterday night, and so today the plan was to review these. Again, I gave some terrain parameters, which is basically my full collection, a little bit less, but just to make sure everyone had enough to go off of, and basically no larger than 33 hex diameter. So we'll kind of eyeball that and look at those that we can look at in the virtual scape, and then on top of that, we're gonna go ahead and look at each of these. So for those again that we do have HSC files, we'll look at, and then I'll review each of them, and I'll kind of break it down how I'm feeling about each one, and we'll kind of pare it down until we get to one that I feel pretty good about. Obviously, feel free to share any thoughts that you might have if you're excited to add in a comment yourself or whatnot. By all means, I'm open to that. Why do I keep getting these notifications? That can't be good. I mean, I do. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I got that from downloading one of the HSC files off of MediaFire, so I don't know if that's I don't know. I assume that site. I've used MediaFire before, but it looks like a virus may have gotten me on MediaFire, so I hope not. Okay, so we've got submitted by Swarm. We've got this really cool map. I believe I have his HSC file, so we're gonna pull that up here in just a second. So yeah, that's looking pretty awesome. So let's pull up the. Oh, I thought I had VirtualScape open. I guess I don't. What in the heck? I keep getting those virus notifications. That can't be good. Okay, VirtualScape, and we're gonna be open And we're going to do... Where is it? Why can't I see it? What do you call it? Swarm? Is it Durotaxis? Is that what it's called? Is that the one? I think that's the one you called it. Yeah. Oh, wow. Nice guess. I don't know why I couldn't see the name before. Okay, sweet. All right, so let's do some counting here really quick. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 to the middle, which means there's 16 on the other side, which is perfect. That is going to fit the table, my friend. That is awesome. So points for that. In fact, maybe I'll just take a couple notes here, because I mean, if eventually I get the oh man, anyone who knows virus software, sometimes I don't know if this is real or if this is you know, sometimes you wonder if it's, you know, the actual scam. Sometimes you get notifications. So I keep getting this. I don't know. I'm just gonna ignore it for now. But man, Cleon made me download it on MediaFire. I'll blame Cleon if my computer blows up. All right, so we've got Swarm, and his does meet the parameters, so 33 hexes, which is good. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this in a 3D mode. Oh wow, that looks way cooler when you actually start rolling around in it. Oh wow. Okay, looks like he's stacking a bunch of waters. Okay, so I think these are the double stack tiles. You can use double stack tiles, so I think the intention there is just to stack water. Yeah, Cody, this is this one isn't quite yours. We're not there yet. We'll get there. This one's by Swarm. Did you already forget which map you were doing? Oh, that's awesome. What? That's a nice little Easter egg. I think he did that on purpose. Look at that. He's hiding some miniatures in the corner there. That's awesome. Oh, this is great. Mr. Dr. Professor Oak reminds me of the theme arena of the second Hunger Games. Yeah, no, this is pretty cool. So the ice is pretty high up. You've got the sand over here. You've got the swamp and shadow. Then you've got lava and kind of obsidian, which is the marble terrain. And then you've got kind of the dungeon and ruins over here, which is really, really cool. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to eventually... I think this is a system issue, because that keeps getting notifications. I'm going to have to look at that. Yeah, this is really cool. So it looks like, yeah, basically open doors on each of these, and then it's just a straight-up tower. Let's see. Okay, it looks like there's a second floor here near the top. And it looks down all the way. Okay, so and then there's a floor there. Okay, so this is actually kind of like Saruman's tower a little bit, or the Eye of Sauron. So really, really cool. You've got, yeah, the one big tower in the middle and 6 different sections. And if we actually look at... Cody, I've never had any issues with MediaFire before, though. I'd be surprised if it was from there. I'm very sorry if it is. Oh, I mean, it's not your fault. I mean, it's the internet, right? So I don't know if it's like, see, when I... No, this is just some notification. I don't know what that's from, but my software itself, or my Windows notification keeps popping up. So I don't know, man. Like, usually I just ignore them, because a lot of the times, like, they'll flash up and it'll say you have an error, and that's the actual virus, is when they try to alert you and say, oh no, you've got a virus, take care of it quick, you know. But that was just weird, because I downloaded your HSC file on MediaFire, and then I kept getting notifications. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe there really was. I don't know. I'll find out, and maybe my computer will melt. Who knows? All right, so we won't worry about that. I'll probably keep getting notifications on it, but who knows? Anyway, so if we go back and we look at, what is it? I think here. No, that's not it. Was it here? That's not it. Okay. Oh, here we go. All right, so his thing over here was... Okay, in the mystical realm of Durotaxis, oh, there's the name of it. Malevolent sorcerer named Peloth has ensnared the once majestic land and Shroud of Darkness. The tranquil rule knows no bounds. I actually did read through this before. Basically, this is a Peloth acting like a main bad guy. So you've got 6 regions of the kingdom, which are independent battles, dependent on the number of players around the table. This makes it available up to 12 players. For each region, Peloth's legions are made of, okay, meteor crater. Okay, cool. So it gives me some units. Desert, swamp, ruined city, glaciers, haunted forest. Yeah, so this is cool. So depending on how big you want the armies to be, for beginners, maybe anywhere between 250. Yeah, so this is great. So basically the way that this one runs, I can go in here, put in the armies in each section, and then have lots of mini battles, is the way that he has it set up. And then special rules at the start of each round. Peloth will randomly cast one of his spells to each region. They roll the d20. These spells are, oh yeah, cool. Alright, so yeah, this I do really like. Basically, it allows me as the game commander to decide what occurs in each of the zones based off of Peloth's spell. And then if one army successfully beats their legion within their zone, they break down the fortress door, drow activate, they fight the drow, and then they basically have the opportunity to send a hero up to the top of the tower to battle Peloth, which is actually pretty cool, right? So then they're incentivized to win your battle on the ground in your zone, beat the drow, and then it looks like he says give him Sonlin stats, but use the same sculpt, and then you kill up Peloth and you win and save the realm. So cool stuff. I like it. I like that. Nobleman Nick, my sound is off, but the map at least shows all the different terrain, how well and what they can be. Is there any way you can share the HSC file? I wasn't sure how to. Oh, another way. Oh no, I've got the HSC file. It downloaded fine. It just, I wasn't sure when I was downloading it off of Mediafire Cody. For some reason, it gave me a notification that said there was a virus. Usually when that happens, I'd avoid it because it's usually, again, like I said, usually it's a virus packed within the notification trying to tell you. So I don't know. Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. Also, I was on a crappy Windows laptop from Walmart, which is so slow at the point. Miracle I was able to up and share. Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. All right, so this is so that's it. Swarm looks really, really good. This image is really cool. It doesn't quite do it justice though. Once you get kind of into it on the 3D image here and start looking around, this is really cool because of the way you can set up an army in each zone. I really like that you can have different battles and kind of the scenario he posited. So I would say big marks there. 33 hexes. Let's see. So it's a 6-zone battle. Cool. I'll take a note about that. Sweet deal. All right, let's move on. Cool. Let's go to the next one. Chris Perkins. Yeah, so this one's kind of like a all volcano mountain deal, yo. So let's open that one. Alka, no, that's the dam. Dormant No More, that's right. Which honestly is kind of a cool name. Dormant No More. We're gonna go ahead and actually before we do the 3D, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I believe that is the center. Perfect. So yep, his as well is going to be 17 plus 16, so 33. Awesome. Yeah, this is good. So let's go ahead and 3D map this thing. Wow, yeah, this looks, yeah, so if you look at the this one's a little bit pixelated, this picture, so you don't get quite the full effect. This is really, really cool. It's amazing how the theme comes through on this one. Wow. Yeah, so you've got a lava volcano. It looks like, what is this, 2 or 3? Oh, that's actually pretty steep. 1, 2, 3, is that 4? No, 1, 2, 3. I think that's 3. Yeah, 3 levels between each of these. Little bit steep, but again, you know, if I'm setting up a battle, you know, you can kind of work your way around that. I might. This is one where I'd probably, if there's extra ladders, I'd probably throw a few extra ladders here, potentially just for actual functional use. I love this little circuitous road with the trees. That's really cool. I love how there's like guard posts. You've got these guard towers kind of in the corners here. Yeah, this is really cool. So this is the front. I like that. Really big castle in the front. And when you're looking at this, you definitely get a pretty... Yeah, this is pretty functional. You got a lot of ladders that you can move around pretty quick. And I really like how the castle is integrated into the mountain. You see how this comes across here? Like the towers themselves are really tall here, but then it gets integrated into the mountain right here along the walkway. That's really, really cool. I like that. And then there's a little mini tower here. Yeah, that's awesome. Very, very cool. Love this setup. So let's go ahead and read about it a little bit. I believe this one also has a volcanic play, D20 at the end of each round. Roll the D20, add the number of rounds, and subtract 1. Okay, if you roll a 20 or above, the volcano explodes. For each figure on the map, roll a D20. Oh, if it explodes. Subtract their distance from the nearest molten lava space. If the roll is a 19 plus, destroy the figure. If you roll a 15 through 19, the figure takes 2 wounds. If you roll a 5 through 14, the figure takes 1 wound. Wow. Okay, once the volcano has exploded, reset the round counter to 1 for the purpose of this power. Dang, so that can do some crazy damage, which is actually pretty cool because you can probably run... That probably happens, you know, once or twice a game, maybe, and you probably end up getting some pretty high damage output, which is just makes things crazy when you're destroying a figure or throwing wounds on squad figures. So that's actually pretty gnarly. Really cool theme there, and you've got a few different angles here. Oh, and that's it. That's actually really nice and simple. I like that. That's really cool. So. It's strictly just a kind of a kill, you know, however you want to set up the game board. The only actual, you know, scenario piece is the volcano itself erupting. I like it. Very simple. So I'm gonna give Chris Perkins points for it. So that's 33 hexes as well. So that matches, and the simplicity of the scenario I like. I'm not saying complex can't get points too, but I like how it's just a very simple, hey, the volcano blows up. So simplicity points, and we'll just say overall scenario is nice and simple. Okay, cool. Don't mind the notifications. They're going to keep coming for whatever reason. All right, number 3, we've got Sherman Davies. He did provide an HSC as well, so let's take a look at that. File open. Alkali Lake Dam. And this one actually is an older map that showed up. I don't know when the download for this was. I feel like it's a few years ago. Well, this one definitely meets the size restrictions, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. No, that fits. That's fine. This one's an older map that was submitted by Sherman Davies that he built, and I believe I've built this before, but I adjusted it slightly for a different campaign or something I was using. Really simple. I like the theme that's coming through. You've got a dam here at the top. Right, which is really, I felt like really well designed. Is there an overhang? Well, that's kind of cool. You could get a spider. Well, I mean, a spider can't get in there, but you know, if you really wanted to, that's kind of a fun little cavity there. But yeah, so you've got the dam sitting up at the top of the map here. I believe the start zones on these are supposed to be on the edges along here. But I mean, honestly, this is a big map. You can kind of do whatever you want. And then you've got the bridge kind of in the lowlands here. So pretty simple map. I really like that it's the bridge is very accessible. Like especially if you set up along here, I feel like that's really good development for double spaced figures as well. The 2 hexes in between makes it a lot more accessible. Yeah, really good simple map. So nothing crazy there, not too much to review on that one, but I like it. So we'll just do Sherman Davies. Meets the size restrictions, and I'll give points for theme. Theme really comes through in simplicity, so we'll say that's really good. I like that. Okay, Valhalla. This was submitted by Shurig. Actually, I don't know if I got a HSC from him. No, I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did. Right here, Valhalla. So this one, on the outset, I really liked the theme. I thought it was really cool when I first saw it. I am a little bit concerned about the size, so let's check that. I think at the widest here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. No, I think it fits. So that's 29 right there. So I think it's about probably the same here because it's a little bit longer on this spot, but it ends up being a little bit shorter. Yeah, so I said 33, so this actually should fit because this is the longest point, and I think that's about 29 or 30. So we're looking good there. That's good. So the right size. And this one, I think, does a really good job of meshing. My first instinct was it does a really good job of meshing the different zones. So, the first one I thought was pretty cool because it divides every single zone, and so it's very specific battle zones. This one does a similar thing, but it integrates them, I feel like, pretty well. I feel like it's a very cohesive map. So even though you've got all the different terrains being used, the map is a little bit more cohesive. 1, 2, 3, let's see. So we've got, yeah, nice. You've got a little dungeon shadow action going on over here. Looks like some treasure glyphs. Ooh, nice. Adding ladders there. That's good. That makes that accessible. You've got the jungle here, kind of an oasis. Love that. That's really cool. You've got the lava pit with, honestly, the the massive curse glyph here is so awesome. Massive curse. The way that works is once someone lands on it, it's a temporary glyph. You roll the d20 for every figure on the board, and if you roll a 20, the figure's destroyed. So I love that that's in the lava section. But I also love that the lava section is playable. Like, you can move through it. You're not required to sit there. That's great. You've got movement. You've got glyphs over here. Also, I'll read about it, but these are well springs. So I love that he's added well springs to each section. And there's a glyph in each section, which is cool. You've got a bridge. Got some more treasure glyphs. Looks like we've got another power glyph. A little bridge here with a tundra set. Okay. We've got the castle. Pretty simple castle. Oh, nice. I didn't realize there was 2 layers. That's really cool. So you've got a double layer castle there. Very simple. Very small. But it kind of gets at, it kind of gives you a pretty good idea of what you can do with the sets, right? You've got, it's not as eye-popping as 4 stories of a tower, right? There's definitely some value in that first one from Swarm, but that definitely gives you an idea. So really, really cool. Okay, so yeah, no, this is looking really, in fact, I think this section might actually be, I'd have to check, that he might have designed this section here exactly like the Mimring campaign map from the original Rise of the Valkyrie. I thought it looked familiar. The way he does the double ruins here, this almost looks exactly like the Mimring one. So, Shurig, if you're listening, let me know. I'm curious because I feel like that's what you did there, which is kind of cool. Really, really neat. I really like this. This one is awesome. I think it does a really, really good job of integrating all the different sets. It's not... I don't know. We'll see. I think I need to compare it to the other ones first in different ways, but I have some other thoughts with this compared to some of the other ones. But initially, this is really, really cool. I really like it. Good job. And actually on this one, I don't know if there was scenario. Did he have scenario? Okay, no, he did. He did. Okay, let's see. Scenario. Magical wellsprings grant you and your allies great powers. Take control and win by having yours or your allied figures on all wellspring spaces. Marked sign. Okay, in at least 3 locations. Or win outright by being last army standing. Okay. Take control and win by having yours or your allies on all wellspring spaces. Wait. On all wellspring spaces. Oh, in at least 3 locations. Oh, interesting. So you have to cover every single wellspring space. So 4 spaces within at least 3 locations. Interesting. Out of 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. Huh. So 3 out of the 5 locations have to be fully covered in the wellspring in order to win. Okay. That's interesting. That takes a fair number of figures, but I like it. Especially if it's an allied victory. Makes sense. Teleportation, Brandar glyphs. Brandar glyphs represent glyphs of teleportation. Okay, instead of treasure glyphs. When you place a figure on one of the glyphs, immediately place them on any other glyph of teleportation. You make continuing movement. If a figure is occupying a glyph, you switch places. Okay, cool. Water, it counts as 2 spaces. So instead of full movement stop, it just takes a little bit longer to get into it. Makes sense. If you use whatever face of glyphs you'd like for each wellspring, I'll swapping them for an hour or so right then on these placements. Also, you can probably add the fortress door if you'd like for aesthetic purposes. The back of the castle is open anyway. Yeah, okay, gotcha. That makes sense because, yeah, you can add, he doesn't have the door, but you can add it. It's an open castle wall, so I see what he's saying there. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, this is good. I like it. Very simple. You can teleport around the map, and the win condition is very similar to how the Battles of Valhalla are, is trying to control the wellsprings. There's a glyph in each wellspring, and you can have an allied victory. I like it. Really, really cool. Well done. So we're going to say, so the Shurig, definitely on theme. I think the theme really comes through on this one. I think he gets brownie points for theme. And I really, actually, the scenario is pretty neat. I think it's very Heroescape-y, right? The whole theme around Heroescape is the Wellsprings. I think he does a good job there, so well done. Okay, Rye Guy, Marl Onslaught. Let's, I believe we've got that HSC. I think we had 6 out of the 9, so I think we're going to end up running up against a few that we don't have HSCs for. But Marl Onslaught we do. Marl Onslaught. Whoa. Okay. It's all the way over here to the right. Let's scroll. There we go. Okay. So this should fit. Let's count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, yeah. It fits. Nice. It fits. Nicely done. Okay, so a couple things. Let's look at the... Now, a couple things right off the bat that I'm a little bit sad about is it has a lot of Takala Jungle. So it has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, is that 4? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Interesting. Wait, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so technically 4 sets. Because he's got 1, 2, 3, 3 sets of 3 trees, and then 1 extra one, and then a bunch of bushes. My terrain restrictions are only 2 sets of Takala Jungle. Now I make Takala Jungle, so technically I could, in the next day, throw together a few more sets of Takala, but I don't have that many on hand. I only have 2 on hand. But yes, I could make more. So that, I would say, initially probably puts this a little bit on the, minus a couple points side, just because I'd have to sub out a few jungle trees and bushes for, some other terrain pieces. I might throw in some, I don't know, maybe some, ruins or something along here. But overall, still really, really cool. I love how it's a full foliage forest here. And you've got the Marrow infestation here settling in the swamp. Double hives, which are awesome. and you kind of have this assault the castle type feel. Really, really cool. And I like that there's two bridges here. Really, really cool on the double bridges. And this actually is really neat too, because it's this little kind of back door, and it's got no door on it, so they really have to protect it. I like that. In terms of starting position, it looks like you start with one squad or one group of people defending the side door. Everyone else is in the back. Okay, what's this one? Glyph of Rainvig. Oh, flying. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Defenders don't want you flying into their base. And then I think the Glyph of Thorian. Did I see that over here? No, this is defense and attack. Oh, Gaul. Man, yeah, they're getting some crazy. Oh my gosh, these notifications are ridiculous. Okay, yeah, so Glyph of Gerda. Oh, okay, no, that's the +1. I thought it was the +2. I was like, oh my gosh. No, so Astrid, which is attack +1, defense +1. So not bad. Ooh, okay, this is kind of cool. So a little side way to attack this way. That's pretty neat. In the start zone, they can jump right up onto the top there. Okay. And in the back there, interesting. They've got a power cliff all the way up on top of the lava mountain over here. Okay, that's pretty nifty. All right. Not bad. What's this? Range +4. Okay, well, if they get range +4, they have to be in a pretty bad spot. Cool. Yeah, this is very much a assault the castle scenario. I like it. It's very thematic. Really, really cool. It's definitely got some things to help the assaulters, right? Being able to come on this side. Being able to come in this side that doesn't have a door. You get most of the glyphs. You get movement, attack, and defense, which is going to be really hard for the defenders to take you off of. Meanwhile, they can keep you from flying, which is important because that does give the defenders, if you go full flying, it's pretty easy to just take them off the tower. So, cool. I like it. Now let's look at the scenario. Of the scenario, let's see. A heavy mist has arisen outside the walls of Dreadcore Castle. The marsh has grown swiftly and thoroughly, choking the native forest to deep beyond the decrepit fort that Jandar used to safeguard a secret that could fracture the Alliance. A horrifying, malignant force has defied nature to churn out its endless spawn like weeds tomorrow grow, spurred by the reverberant power of twin hives. How long can the Alliance forces hold out against the endless onslaught before reinforcements arrive? That's awesome. So, the Maro-Ukar armies start in the red start zone. The Alliance non-Ukar forces start in the blue start zone. Maro forces must, retrieve? The Alliance secret. Oh, the Brandar glyph. Okay, that's up at the top of the lava. That's that glyph at the top of the lava. And return it to their start zone. Oh, dang. That's going to be tough. So they have to grab it and then return it to their start zone by the end of round 10 to win. The Alliance forces must prevent this for 10 rounds or destroy both hives to win. Interesting. It is remembered that army points are even, but the Ukar Alliance number of players is in a 1-2 or 2-3 ratio. Okay, that makes sense. For example, there are 3 players, 1 player controls 500 points, 30 hex limit, Alliance army, and 2 players control 250. Yeah. Makes sense. Yep, typical defending scenario. Okay, so that all makes sense, what I'm seeing there. Special rules. The Maro hives are not part of the Maro player's army, and instead act as a special terrain. Interesting. For the duration of the game, the Maro hives have 6 lives and 2 defense. Each have a special spell that activates at the end of the round. The castle door does not have any special abilities. Ooh, that's spicy. So the castle door is totally left on its own, and you've got basically the Maro hives that activate on their own. Interesting. So you don't have them in your army. So at the end of the round... Okay, so it's... Okay, I think it's the exact same ability. Oh, no, it's not. So 1 through 13. Wow, it's automatic. Dang, crazy. You place previously destroyed Maro common squad figure. 14 through 18, you may place any previously destroyed Maro warrior, overlord, warlord, or war witch. Dang, okay. If you're on Nitro, you may place any previously destroyed Maro Hive Lord on any empty same level space. Oh, okay, gotcha. So these are the kind of the weaker Maros, right? These are the Hive Lords. Okay. Figures must be placed adjacent to the hive that rolled tomorrow rebirth. If there is no empty same level space, the hive you may... Okay, cool. Interesting. I like that. That's a really cool scenario. That's a really cool scenario. So basically you just have a butt ton of Morrows. The hives operate independently at the end of the round, but they can bring back double squad figures and heroes every round. And you're basically just assaulting the castle as much as possible. Very, very cool. I like it. And yeah, so that's that one. Now, Nomad Road Under Glacier Mountain. I don't believe I got the HSC for that. Now, I am able to see most of this map from this angle. Unfortunately, I'm not going to really be able to see the other side, but let's maybe take a look. Oh yeah, he built it in real life. That's right. So pretty decent. Pretty decent. Yeah, he's got all the terrain types, I think, represented. Jungle, dungeon, lava, ice. I think that's everything. Maybe not Marvel. Oh no, there's Marvel right there. Swarm. Yeah, I think he's got everything. So, yeah, this is really cool. In fact, I really like how it's the double layer. So you've got a lot of opportunities to jump up here, right? You can kind of climb up here and use the ladders. You can climb up here, it looks like. And there's not really designated start zones, it looks like. So this is probably more of a kind of place where you will. But I really like how open and... like the second level is very accessible. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity there, and being at road, you can definitely charter your way from even this side all the way over here. And it looks like there's access points all around it. So here, 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 and my guess is, oh yeah, he's got one there. Oh yeah, and one there. My guess is we might have one more over here. But that looks really cool. Really, really cool. And I'm glad he actually took an IRL picture because I didn't get the HSC file. So this does give a pretty good idea of what it looks like. I like it. He's incorporating a lot of different terrain types. So this is good. This is good. And I think, did he have a scenario? I can't remember. No, he didn't. Or no, he did. I think I have to download it, though. Let me download it really quick. Let's see. Okay, this map was really designed. Oh, okay, for C3G superhero armies. Okay. But anything can be used. Okay, does he have any other additional notes? Okay, no other additional notes. Okay. So not too bad. Yeah, no, it's got just very simple. Kind of throw your own scenario in there. Go to the seat of my map. You don't have to stop in water. It just counts as 2 spaces, like slippery ice. Yeah. Yep. I think for those of you that did use a lot of water, I think you adjusted that. And I would probably adjust that anyway, regardless of if you had mentioned it. Typically in bigger games, I like to make adjustments like that to kind of help move things along. Okay, so we've got 3 more. We've got Cleons, a land in 8 hours. I believe we have the HSC for that. The HSC that keeps giving my computer notifications. And and I don't know if they're real or not. I'll keep razzing you, Cody. Okay, battle. Here we go. He titled it a land in 8 hours map because it took him. He spent 8 hours developing it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32. Oh, right. I could have stopped counting at 17. All right. So let's go ahead and get a 3D view. Holy glyphs. Dang, I didn't realize there were so many glyphs. But honestly, glyphs make things a little bit more interesting when you can have a bunch of players and there's a bunch of stuff going on. Wow. Okay, yeah, this is cool. So you've got some really cool zones here. You've got kind of I guess all of this is kind of the Road to the Forgotten Zone because it's all kind of road trees. You've got your swarm zone over here. So with some disparate road. I like that. Kind of like it's been broken up. Very cool. You've got your lava zone. That's interesting. Really high lava pillar. That's kind of cool. So yeah, on that one, I would probably throw some obsidians for sure, because that would be kind of dope. Or molten claw, man, you'd be wrecking up there. Okay, so yeah, the lava zone is very simple. I really like that, and this is kind of a cool little lava section here because you can really only access it. Like I'd probably make that a really powerful glyph, so you kind of have to weed your way all the way down in here. That's really cool, and I like so far the consistent moat. It looks like, yeah, there's a moat around the whole thing. That's cool. So shadow and lava, it's good pairing. Ooh, I like that. I like the this little roadway with the double ruins in between. That's pretty fun. Oh, the little volcano. Okay, gotcha, Cody. I see what you're going for. Yeah, you wanted the okay, why is it keep doing that? Sorry. All right, so really, really cool. We go from, okay, so the dungeon section, I guess there's not really a dungeon section, but you're using dungeon everywhere, right? You've got the outcrops here, I like. You've got kind of the oasis feel over here with the sand and jungle, like that. That's a really good theme, I like. Tundra. Oh yeah, we're getting some road all the way up into the tundra. In fact, actually, does road connect to the whole map? Almost, except for the swarm jungle area. It looks like road, yeah, connects all the way around. Very cool. I think that's very thematic. I like that. You know, that's kind of been broken up by the hive and the swarm. That's really cool. And I do like that the road kind of makes its way around the whole thing. That makes it pretty neat. And again, all the glyphs, there's like 30 glyphs on this map. Love it. All right. Okay, going into the castle. So we don't have a door. That's good to note. Once we get inside, looks like we've got some glyphs here. A little bit of a raised platform there. Okay, we've got a little bit of a raised platform here. We've got another glyph. We've got a couple access points. Okay, this looks like that's the only access point. Yeah, so you get up and then that's kind of like your little tower spot. Same thing there. You go up there. Oh, interesting. You can kind of go inside the... that's cool. You can kind of jut inside the little tower there. Yeah, and there too. That's really cool. Interesting. Yeah, I really like that. That's fun. Big old tower at the top there where you can... I believe these are teleporters. I'll have to check, but I believe we'll read your file. I think you said those are teleporters, which is really cool. Yeah, so yeah, holy cow, yeah. You can teleport anywhere inside this map. Or inside this castle. That's cool. I like the castle size. The castle size does a really good job of presenting some interesting predicaments for the players because you don't get the castle door and you can teleport inside anywhere, but it's very defensible, like being able to hug inside here or inside here in the tower. And there's no teleporter up to the top of the tower, which is really cool. And so that makes for a really interesting defense scenario. Oh, that's cool. That's really fun. This kind of secret access point passageway, and it teleports there. That's really cool. And I really like this spot, that little tower spot. Is there... Yeah, there is a ladder there. That's awesome. Really, really cool. Well done. Yeah, there's also a secret spot in the back. Yeah. Yeah, little nuggets, little Easter eggs like that make it that much more enjoyable. This is really, really cool. I like the number of glyphs. It makes for, if we set up a map, if we set up a game where we have a lot of things going on, I feel like everyone's going to be able to grab a glyph. And it looks like the teleporters are on the outside. Interesting. Oh, okay, actually all on the outside. Okay, interesting. Okay, yeah, so all along the edge. Sebastian, who made this? Cleon. He's chatting in the chat right now. Cody Lucido. So yeah, the teleporters are on the outside around the entire edge. They teleport somewhere into the castle. That's really interesting. So you basically have the conflicts occurring on the outside, and then you can basically have everybody teleporting into the center to fight in the castle. Okay, I might have to. Let's check. I don't know if you added. Did you add scenario notes? I think you just added a few notes on the teleporters. So yeah, you teleporter. 15 power glyphs. When one of your figures is holding power glyphs, in addition to abilities granted to the glyph, all your figures now get +1 defense. Sheesh. Holy cow. Okay. Dang. Okay, that's an interesting. So +1 defense while holding a glyph. Okay, I like it. Very cool. Okay. The power glyphs are up for choosing. Sure, makes sense. You could do random, but the castle glyph should be a stronger glyph. Yeah, okay. Wanek. Castle glyph, I feel like people... Oh my gosh, these notifications. Sorry, guys. My word. Okay, that was a vision move. Okay, cool. You don't have to stop in water. Instead, it's 2 movement. Yep, I didn't make any designated start zones. Sure, yep, so you can kind of decide where. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, pretty simple. It's a pretty... a pretty big map that lends itself to definitely having a lot of figures and a lot of players. I like that. So and with the number of glyphs, so Cody, the defense doesn't stack. It's defense against range, a second defense dice when defending from castle attacks. Okay, cool. So if you decide you don't want to go into the castle, you want to fight your fight outside the castle, at least you're getting extra defense. I like it. Good deal. Yeah, no, this is a good one. This is a really good one. I like it. I think it hits on a lot of the stuff I'm looking for. Definitely a bit of a wow factor with the castle. Every terrain pack is being used. And they're all integrated pretty well into each other, right? It feels pretty natural where they're set up. So, and the scenario is pretty sweet. So this one definitely gets some big points. I say well done. So Cleon... we're gonna be looking at, so it's got a castle. You got the size fits. Kind of gets all terrain. I think those are really good points for all the terrain types. I really like that. Gotta love the hex shape. Yeah, Skywell. Yeah, no, absolutely. It fits. It's a good shape. Okay, so that one's done. On to sheep. Sheep. I don't think I got his HSC. Let me double check. Did I get his HSC? Oh no, because this one was called Champion Circle. Yeah, darn. Yeah, that would have been a good one to check on the HSC, but you get a pretty good sense of what it looks like. In fact, I think in his original post, I think he provided a few more pictures. This one is really, really cool. Let's actually click on the download. Maybe he has... Oops. Maybe he has more pictures. Oh no, I guess it wouldn't be in the champions. So he would. Oh, okay. That's actually a pretty good angle. Oh wow. Okay. That's really cool. So there's a pedestal up top. That's pretty cool. And this one's titled Champion Circle, so I see what he's doing there. That's pretty cool. And you kind of have the round table feel with the pedestal and each individual tower. That's pretty cool. I like that. And wow, direct access to the top. Holy. Okay, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't realize it was 5 castle stories high. Woo. Dang. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, no, is that 6? Wait, 1, 2. Yeah, that's 1, 2. That's not. Wait. No, that's that. No. 1, 2, 3. I don't think that's 2 there. 4, 5. For sure, that's 2. I don't know. Okay, let's check. How many... Oh gosh, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to check with all the levels. I don't know how to check this. How can I... Oh, level 43. Okay, that'll tell us, yeah. Yeah, this gets all the way to level 61. So yeah, this is that's how we check. We check the levels. So level 61. My word, that's crazy. So yeah, so this is 5. So it's 1, 2. Well, actually no, it's oops, sorry. Wait, so if it's 61 levels, then it's 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that accurate? Is it 61 levels? No, can't be that. Can it? Is it 6? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it is. I think it's 6 because these are 10 levels each. Holy. Anyway, so that's massive. This is big. This is really, really big. That's really cool. Definitely some eye-popping wow factor there for sure. Let's see. In terms of jungle, okay, yep, it's got the same jungle. Looks like it's got the right amount of... Okay, it's got 3 sets of road, I think, or at least for the trees. Okay, I'm just looking at the levels here. So it's mainly Rise of the Valkyrie, jungle, trees, and castle. So we do miss out on a few of the terrain types, it looks like. Yeah, and this is all just level upon level of the castle. Yeah, most of these levels are on castle. But what's cool is you'll notice he did integrate some of the trees on the inside of the castle there. So that's really cool. Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah, he's got a few platforms. Notice there, he's got a few platforms in the middle. And I'm looking at this because I can't on the HSC file normally. Sorry, guys. Normally I'd go to the HSC file, but this is showing. Yeah, on the inside you can still be moving around because he's adding levels for movement. My gosh, these notifications are driving me nuts. Really, really cool. Yeah, and then there's the very top there. Awesome. Honestly, this one gets big points for wow factor. You know, one of the things I mentioned was I want people to walk in and be like, I'm playing that game. This one has it. I will say there's maybe a couple minus points just because it doesn't really incorporate all the train sets. That wasn't a requirement, but I think because some of the other maps do a really good job of incorporating all the terrain types and still have a bit of a wow factor, I think this one gets a little bit of a knock against those for that reason, but it gets extra points, I think, for wow factor, because you're telling me this is going to be a 6-story castle tower that is just going to be tall, man. I mean, it's going to be tall. So that's going to catch people's eye for sure. So yeah, sheep, you get wow factor, man. Eye popping. In fact, I would say this is probably the most wow factor one up to this point. Well, and there's only one more flashes that we're reviewing. So I'd say of the bunch, this is probably the biggest eye popping one. So I have to decide whether or not eye popping is the best factor when it comes to who's going to win this. So, all right, man, this is making it hard. I like these. Gosh, there's those stupid notifications again. Okay, really, really cool. I think that's a good angle. You do kind of get a sense of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, wow, 6 high. That's crazy. Oh man, that's bonkers, dude. Nicely done. Yeah, Skywell, gotta look back into the super height advantage rules. Seriously, man. Seriously. Okay, Flash, Ambition. I think I got an HSC. Did I not? I thought I did. No, did Flash message me? No. Let's see, let's double check, let's double check my messages. Nope. Okay. I thought I did. So yeah, so Flash, I do not have an HSC file. That's okay. Doesn't mean we can't review it. And I think did he take multiple pictures? Let's check his, nope, this is just the download. Still, we can take a look at the download. So let's go ahead and exit out of the champion circle. Okay. So really cool stuff here. I really like Oh my gosh, these notifications are driving me nuts. Sorry, guys. Oh, other images. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is good. Okay, so he did took multiple images. Okay, sweet. So we've got a nice little castle. That's cute. That's cute. I like it. Little double flag, and you get a little spot right there. I like it. Very cool. Okay, so on the back side, you've got some pretty simple design here. You can go up here, here, here. Yep, access points are everywhere. Nice. Really simple map there. I like that. This feels really cool. Just a fun little bridge area on the outside, in the glades near the castle. This is actually really cool. I do like this. Fun little dungeon section here. Oh, nice little ladder spots there to access the top. Okay. Okay, yeah, a little dungeon run here. I like that. That's fun. And then kind of a look. Okay, it looks like you can access the dungeon on the backside too. I like that actually. So you don't have to go through here. You can access the dungeon through that side. This is good. I appreciate the multiple pictures, Flash. Nicely done. That helps since I didn't get the HSC file. But this is really good. I like it. It feels like a miniature map of some of the maps we've seen, right? It kind of hits on all the same themes, right? You get the castle, like a little mini castle, but you still get a castle, like a mini dungeon and a mini ice, mountain, but you still get it. You get a dungeon section, you get a Takala kind of desert section. You get some road and bridge and Everglade section. The thing it is missing is lava. Not required by any means, but it is missing a terrain set. So, I mean, again, not required, but worth noting. Unless, actually, he might have done it in the build instructions to build it up. Did he? No. Okay, he's not hiding any lava. Okay. Sometimes you do. Okay, this map is intended to be played. Heat of the battle. Let's look at his scenario. Glyphs are placed in functional control points. Okay. Middle glyph is worth 3 points. Bridge, cave, and castle glyphs are worth 2 points. Points based on who there's the most figures adjacent or on top of the glyph. Player with a unit on the glyph gets the points. It is recommended to play 6 rounds. At the end of 6 rounds, the player with the most points wins. Okay. So shorter games, which is fine. They represent treasure glyphs as an additional way to earn points. Points may be awarded to players who control these treasure glyphs at the end of the game. Oh, that's cool. So kind of a conditional, hey, if you hold the most treasure glyphs, you get extra points type of win. I like it. If so, permanent treasure glyphs should be used along with the standard rules for treasure glyphs, including traps if desired. An extra incentive may be used for players that gather multiple treasure glyphs. For example, control and treasure glyph. Okay, cool. Ooh, cool. I like that. So it's incrementally stronger. You get more points for the glyphs that you have. I like it. But you don't get more until treasure glyph 3. So I'd probably add a lot of treasure glyphs to make it more likely that someone could make a play for that. But not bad. Not bad. In terms of the build, it looks pretty straightforward. It is the right size, from what I can tell. I think 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, yeah. I'm at 15 and I'm already here, so that's like 25 or something. So, yeah, that totally fits. So that's nice and easy. So this is going to be a nice little fit on the map, or on the table. Well done. I like it. Again, it feels very quaint. It feels very simple and unique within its own realm of its own little world. It feels very, very, very quaint, very fun. Not overly big. Cool. I like it. Which brings us to the end of the review stage. Whew, man, took me an hour. I mean, there was 9 of them, so on average, I don't know, what is that? 9 maps, gosh, times, what is it, 5 minutes? No, 6 minutes? 6.5 minutes, something like that. So on average, I'm spending about 6.5 minutes per. I think that's pretty decent. So, that gives me a pretty good sense of each of these maps. So now I have to decide, kind of like a round here, between these 9, which are the ones I would say probably are not in. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. I would say probably not nomads, simply because I think I would like the use of all the different terrain sets, but when I was looking at it, it feels a little less cohesive than some of the other maps. So some of the terrain sets, again, a little bit of aesthetics, right? You know, I feel like the really using all the terrain packs is awesome, but sometimes, you know, it just doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing based on how it kind of flows. And I think this one just doesn't do it as good as some of the other ones. So I think I'm going to cut that one, though I do like the second level there. The second level is pretty cool. So I think I'm going to cut that one. I'm going to go ahead and cut Sherman Davies. My initial thought on this one is that it's really good on theme, but a little too simple, I think, right? We're looking really for something that's going to eye pop, get people excited about the game. Really cool map. I don't think this is going to necessarily bring people to the table as much as some of the other ones. No, slide on the build for Sherman Davies there, but I think other builds do a little bit of a better job there. So we're gonna cut Sherman Davies. We're gonna cut nomads. Let's scroll. So those ones are for sure cuts. I think it gets a little bit tougher after this. So that leaves us with Swarms, Chris Perkins. That leaves us with Shurigs. That leaves us with Rye Guy. That leaves us with Cleon and Sheep and Flash. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so out of these 7, I'm really looking for scenario based and eye popping. I want to come in and I want to play this game, right? Again, the scenario I would say isn't as important simply because I can still kind of adjust it and do it however I want anyway, but it shows the theme of how you built the map, which I like. So I think I'm going to go with eye popping as kind of the initial factor scenario, and I think I think sets used is still a worthy indicator, because if you're using multiple sets and you can make it cohesive, I feel pretty good about that. So let's see. Ambition. Okay, simple. Well, we just reviewed that one, so let's start with something that we haven't reviewed in a minute, so it's no recency bias. Okay, so Swarm. We've got the specific sections ironed out by water. Really big eye-popping with the tower. So I will say it does have eye-popping factor. It does have all the terrain sets, but with a note that it is less integrated. And I do think that's somewhat relevant when you compare it to the others, because I like that there are sections very separate, that you can have those zones fighting, but it doesn't feel as cohesive as some of the other ones. So it gets points for having all the terrain, but I would say a little bit of a knock just because it's a little too rigid, a little too defined. Because I like some of the other ones, how they're a little bit more cohesive. So let's keep an eye on that one. Chris Perkins, really like the theme on this one, the scenario. Oh, sorry, and Swarm, I think that was a great scenario. Actually, I do really like the scenario with the Peloth idea, kind of having armies fight and then fight the tower. I really like that. So Swarm gets points for that. CPs, I like the simplicity, right? The scenario was a lava mountain, and I think the build is pretty cool. I will say there's, in terms of eye-popping factor, I think this one gets maybe like 3/4 points. It adds the castle, and it's big. I don't know. Actually, I might give it full points. It's a pretty unique build. Someone's gonna look at this and see a really big castle. kind of taking up the whole map. So actually, I think it's definitely got an eye-popping factor. It does use, I believe, all the sets. I think. Dungeon, Lava, Swarm, yeah, Marvel, Jungle, yeah, I think so. Or most of them. And then I would say it's pretty cohesive, so it's a cohesive look. And the scenario is a simple scenario. Again, not necessarily extra points, not necessarily a knock against it, but it is a simple scenario. Okay, I like it. Valhalla. Eye-popping factor. I think yes. Not as much as the first two, but still pretty good because it's very cohesive, and the scenario I really like. So the scenario is really, really good because it's very Valhalla, and it's very cohesive. I think he does a great job of incorporating all the different terrain types. It's not as eye-popping, though. Like, it is in the sense that it uses all the terrain types, so when you walk in, you're going to see all the terrain types and be like, whoa. But if you've got 20 different people surrounding the map, no one far away is going to be able to see it. Something that's, 5-6 stories high, you're going to be able to see it. So, it's got some eye-popping factor, but not as much as some of the tower ones or like a huge, lava mountain one. But we'll see. We'll see how I feel about the other ones. Okay, Rye Guy. Morrow Invasion. I think the scenario is bonkers. I think it's awesome. Big castle definitely gives some eye-popping. I don't think it gets as many points for just terrain used, simply because I don't have enough jungle to make this map. I only have 2 sets, and that was my restriction. But overall, I do like the theme. So a little bit of a slight on the terrain piece, but I like the scenario, and I do think it's got eye popping. It's a double layered castle, which is really cool. Okay, so we're paring it down. Cleon, we did look at his, and I actually really, really like the eye popping factor here. I think it's got all the terrain sets. I would say it's very cohesive. Yeah, cohesive. And the scenario, I don't really think there's a scenario per se. It's more of just what are the rules of the game, right? Skywell, it's crazy how awesome this maps are that you can look at Shurg's Valhalla and go, not as eye-popping. I mean, like I said, it's eye-popping. It's got all the different terrain pieces, right? But, again, like, some of these maps, you're going to be able to see it from across the room, right? Okay, so cohesive. So we're talking about Cleon now. My gosh, these notifications. All right, so we're talking about Cleon. I really like the castle, very cohesive, and the scenario. I'll give him a little bit of a knock on the scenario. It's really it's kind of just play as you will, but the glyphs themselves. That's just kind of how you can play the game. I can adjust that. I can change it how I want, but there's not necessarily a scenario per se. So I'm not saying that's a huge knock. It's just some of the other ones have a little bit more of a defined scenario, which helps kind of bring the theme out, which is fine. But if I'm trying to nitpick here, I would probably say that one's just a little bit more open and free, which, could be good, but overall, good. I think sheep wins on eye-popping. I think sheep wins on eye-popping. It's a 6-story castle, right? You're going to be able to see it from across the room. It doesn't use all the terrain, though. And I think that's a little bit of a knock because you can see it from across the room, but then once you get there, you don't see as much of what HeroScape can really do, which is a lot of different terrain types, and you don't get as much of that interaction. So it does miss out a little bit on, some of the lava, ice, dungeon, you miss some of that. So a little bit of a knock on terrain. The cohesiveness, kind of the aesthetic looks really good for what is being used. And the scenario. Wait, did he say? Was there a scenario? Actually, I don't remember if there was a scenario. He might not have had a scenario, or did I just forget to review it? I might have just forgotten to review it. Let's scroll down. This map was built for Sierra's Kid Mountain. Okay, his scenario is it was built for the contest. All right, so actually that's a bit of a knock, right? I think it is important when you have a design to have some sort of special rules or scenario, especially on a map this big. I don't see any glyphs. I think it has to get a knock for the scenario when compared to the way that others are set up. Again, I can do that myself, but I think when you compare it just to how other people set up their maps and built their scenarios, it doesn't have one. So, there's, in terms of comparisons, it misses out there. Okay, Flash. We've got eye-popping. I would say this is similar to the Valhalla map. It definitely, it eye-pops, right? It's using the different terrain types. Not as much, right? Not as much. Because, again, it's not as much as a wow factor. Oh my gosh, stop. Okay. Not as much as a wow factor. The terrain actually gets a pretty good... he's using all of it, I think, except lava. So that's pretty decent. Cohesive. It feels very cohesive. Scenario. It's a control point scenario. So I'm going to give it an okay kind of a markings. Control points is a good way to kind of determine the winner when you have a lot of players, because then you can do quicker games. It's a smaller map, and so compared to these other big ones, if I really do have like 10, 15 people that want to play and I need sectioning out, it will be harder to play on this one. So I actually think this one, of all of them, is the only one that gets a knock for size. It's a little bit too small, I think. Well, I wouldn't say too small. It's still freaking big. It's like 25 across. So it's not really that small, I'll be honest. But it just feels a little bit smaller. The mountain, I actually noticed while I was looking at the images, is one level. And I've played in dungeons with one level. It's really hard to move figures. It's really hard to move your hand in there and move figures around. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a knock on that as well, just because when you're working with dungeon areas, having it closed off this much makes it hard to navigate. The Valhalla one, it was a lot more open. So if you look at Shurig's Valhalla map, he does have a dungeon space as well. I think it's more than just 10 hexes high. If it's not, it's a little more open. This is really one access point here, and that does make it a little bit more difficult. It's not like crazy difficult, but it's something I'm familiar with because I've built maps like that. So I think that gets maybe a slight knock, just because that's going to be harder for people to navigate when they're playing the game. Okay. All right. So we've got... going to make some decisions. So we're going to go ahead, and we're at an hour and 17 minutes. You guys have been... I've been wasting all your time. You just want to see who wins the game. But, I'm here to just talk maps and make this decision. So feel free to come back later and watch the decision. But I think we're going to go ahead and knock off a couple more people. I think we're going to knock off Rye Guys. And honestly, I think Flashes. For now. When I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about each of these maps... Rye Guys, too many jungle, so I can't make those jungles. I like the castle assault aspect. The scenario is pretty cool. It's not using as much terrain, doesn't have to, but I was also thinking about the assault, and the assault on the castle. It's going to be really hard with that water. You basically have to go on the bridges, and there's only 2 access points on the bridges. Again, really cool map. I think if I want a big group of people playing, this one won't lend itself as well to quick and active play. But really great map. So I think for now we're going to go ahead and nix Rye Guys. And the reason why I think I'm nixing Flashes is kind of those last things I was thinking is it's a very quaint map. It looks great. It's awesome. I feel like it's a little bit too small. I feel like the area over here in the dungeon will be a little bit hard for people to navigate, even though it looks really cool. I still think it looks great. I think against the others, it probably doesn't measure up the same. So that leaves us down to 5. We've got Sheep with the eye popping. We've got Cleon. We've got Valhalla. We've got Chris Perkins and Swarm. You know, if I'm looking for scenario, eye popping, and kind of terrain cohesion. Swarm has eye popping, terrain cohesion. It uses the terrain, but it's not as cohesive. Scenario's great, cohesive. Scenario's a little bit more simple. Somewhat eye popping, probably not as much as a tall tower, but still eye popping. Valhalla. I love the scenario. Cleon. Sheep. You know, that one's tough because it doesn't... You know, actually... I think I'm gonna nix Sheeps and maybe Swarms. I love the eye-popping tower. I love it. But I think Swarms is a little bit too regimented with the sections. It's not as cohesive as these other maps are at the end. And I love the tower aspect of Sheep's, but I feel like his doesn't do enough to showcase other parts of Heroscape terrain. So it'll draw you in. You'll see it from across the room. You'll say, what is that game? You'll come in. But then it's a little bit bland, right? The outside is all very symmetrical and exactly the same. So it limits a little bit what you can do, and he didn't have any scenarios for his build. So it makes it a little bit tougher to kind of figure out what's going on there. So I think it's so tough because they look so sick. I mean, the tall towers are awesome. But I think I have to nix those because they draw you in. Or this one draws you in, and then I feel like it's a little bit bland on the outside, and there's no scenario. And then Swarms draws you in, and it uses all the terrain, but I think it's a little bit not... because it's not as cohesive as some of these other ones, I think it gets a little bit of a knock. Which is weird to say, but that's just my feeling. I'm kind of going off of gut on some of these. So that leaves Chris Perkins, Shurig, Cleon. Oh, those are tough. So we've got Chris Perkins with the lava, Shurig, and Cleon's. Whew. Man, that is... Oh, gosh, sorry. That is tough. Let me close all these. So you're asking me to decide between a map that has all of the stuff, a big castle in the middle, and a triple-story tower. Valhalla, which is an amazing scenario. I really like the Wellspring integration. Very cohesive terrain. And then a really cool big castle, again, that kind of encompasses the whole map. With a scenario that's simple and activates every round with or whenever you roll a d20 with the lava. Again, going off of gut. I think I'm gonna nix Chris Perkins. And the only reason is, as I'm looking at the actual build, there's a lot of, like, I think that's 3 hexes high or 4 hexes. And that's, I just think, in terms of playability, that's going to be tough. Like, I'm going to have to come up with some rules, or I'm going to have to add ladders or something here to make movement around here a little bit easier. Yeah, I think I am going to nix it. I really, really like it. I really like the integration of the castle into the mountain. But the more I think about it, I think a lot of your placement is going to be... Like if you place along here on the mountain, it's going to be really hard to use that space effectively, right? Inside here, because again, that's 3 hexes tall. So you're going to try and climb that, and that's going to be pretty tough. Yeah, so I think I nixed Chris Perkins. So I think it's down to 2. It's down to the 2. It's down to Valhalla, which, honestly, great map. And Cleon's a land in 8 hours. Let's see if I can... Oh, gosh, why that download didn't work. That's interesting. Let's see if I've got a better picture. I wish I could zoom... Oh, let's see. I can zoom into here. Okay, that's a little bit better. This doesn't quite do it justice, so let's maybe open it here. That's a bad... It's a bad image to try and make the final judgment off of my... Okay, so we've got a land in 8 hours, and we've got Valhalla. Okay, these look awesome. These look freaking awesome. Valhalla gives me a really good scenario. All of the cohesive terrain. Ooh, all of the cohesive terrain. Really good scenario. And, oops. This gives me not as good as a scenario as Valhalla. Much more eye-popping, though. And uses the terrain cohesively. Ooh, so my decision is both use all the terrain cohesively. I really do like that. I notice that I'm valuing the terrain cohesiveness equally. That's kind of a factor that as I'm looking through these, I like that. So very much a terrain cohesive map, as is as is Valhalla, very terrain cohesive. So they match on that. They eye-popping. Valhalla isn't as good as Cleon's in terms of eye-popping, but his scenario is better than Cleon's. So the difference is Cleon's has a better eye-popping factor, and Schurig has a better scenario factor. That's the difference. So I have to decide, do I value eye-popping or scenario? And which one do I care? Yeah, which one do I care about more? Interesting. Again, I think I'm going to be going off of gut here. So that's a good evaluation. Terrain cohesiveness is really, really good. Those are kind of the 3 factors I've been looking at here, right? Terrain cohesiveness, scenario, and eye-popping factor. They both have the terrain cohesiveness. Schurig has a better scenario. Not as good eye-popping factor. But Cleon's got definitely an eye-popping factor. Not as good as a scenario. And I have to think about people's experience in playing, too. in terms of how I could set this up and play this game. Okay. Okay. I think I know. I think... Oh, stop that. Ah. Okay. Let me take one more look here. Tough. This is tough. Feel free to try and sway me one way or the other. Skywhale, I think Shurg's map may be more eye-popping in real life. Yeah. I mean, the visual is definitely really good, right? The cohesiveness is awesome. The cohesiveness really looks good. I give him that. At the end of the day, that's a tiny little castle. I'm just being honest. It's small. It's quaint. It looks cool. But that, quaint was the word that came up on flashes, right? There's a certain level of, and when you come to the table, it's going to look cool, but I have to get you to the table, right? And so there is a level of, Cleon's is 3 stories tall, a big old castle, that's going to get someone to the table. So I have to decide, is eye-popping, getting them to the table, more important than a scenario that's a little bit better? And I think here's my decision, and I'll explain it here in a second. Yeah. We're gonna do it. 3D, full high def image. We're gonna call Cleon the winner here, folks. Cleon the winner. And here is what my thought is I think I value eye-popping a little bit more in this matchup. Now, in some of the other earlier maps that I nixed, eye-popping wasn't as big of a factor. Some of the other things, for example, Sheep's, I nixed even when he had the best eye-popping factor, because it gets you to the table, but it doesn't quite, once you get there, you're kind of like, oh, it's just a tower, right? But I'm picking Cleon's because, oh gosh, stop that. I'm picking Cleon's because I think, even though it lacks a little bit in scenario, I love the scenario of the Valhalla map by Shurg. Even though I think it lacks in scenario, that is something that I can kind of work with, right? I can, on the game day, I've got these teleportation glyphs, I've got a bunch of other glyphs, and I can kind of come up with a few other things to maybe adjust or, on game day, kind of add augmentation to the design of how the game plays. But I like that every section, every corner has a teleporter, which means I can have a group in this section, a group in this section, a group in this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner. They can all fight each other, and they can still teleport into the castle. So I could have a group in the castle shooting out to these guys, but all these guys on the corners can still teleport in. So even though it lacks a little bit in scenario that I really liked about the Valhalla map by Shurg, I still, with the base scenario set up by Cleon, can get in some really cool gameplay just by using the base teleporters, right? And I can add some additional things to kind of the storyline and how this will all operate. But I love the moat. I love the different areas. The cohesive terrain was massive between these two finalists. And I really liked just that, the castle is big enough to get people to the table. It's 3 stories tall. So that's big enough. Again, someone can see that and be like, whoa, what is that? They get here and they see a map with all different terrain types, and they see people battling on every corner. They see people teleporting into the castle. Really, really well done. I think it edges Valhalla for that reason. I think it edges Valhalla by Shurg for that reason. Not by much. It's close. Valhalla looks so freaking good. It looks so freaking good. I think it was partially the castle. I think if the castle was a little bit bigger on Valhalla, I think Valhalla wins. Because, again, it's that eye-popping factor really, with a big castle is kind of what draws people in. And then once they get there, I really liked the wellspring scenario by Schurig. I really liked the cohesiveness of the terrain. Really, really cool stuff you can set up there. But I think Cleon just does it a little bit better, but not by much. I think a little bit better, but really good stuff. In fact, just as a consolation prize, what the heck, Schurig, I'll send you $5, right? Cleon, he had an awesome, he wins the $25 prize. He gets the $25 for the map submission contest. Schurig, I'll throw in a $5 consolation prize for you because it's awesome, and I'll probably build that map and play on it another day, at another time for a game night. So really, really cool maps. Cleon, Schurig, the finalists. Cleon takes the cake here. Really well done. It barely edges out Schurig. Very impressed. Very impressed. So I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot here. Well, actually, let's get a little bit more zoomed out. Well, not zoomed out. A little bit more of a angle. Let's see. And I'll take a screenshot. Actually, I think that was a good angle. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to take a screenshot here after I do the high def version. Then I'll post that on HeroScapers, and I'll post it in the chat of the Discord. And yeah, we're gonna see some cool pictures and cool games on Saturday when we run this. I'm really excited. I think this is going to be awesome. So, well done, Cleon. Very well done. Your 8 hours staying up all night was worth it. I mean, I questioned it. I was like, well, crap, man. If you end up spending 8 hours and you don't end up designing anything very good, or if you end up losing it, then I'm sorry, but it actually ended up, when I kind of compared 1-to-1 between the different designs, I think it edged out really well. Again, Valhalla, I think, was a very clear front runner. Really, really good map. I just think, like I said, when you compare the two, I think for me the eye-popping factor was just a little bit better, and that's a little bit more important than the scenario, which I think I can still make a good scenario with what you've got as a baseline. So anyway, you guys have stuck around for too long. It's been an hour and a half listening to me jabber about some epic maps. I don't, no need to stick around any longer. So I'm going to sign off, and that's going to be it for me tonight. I'll go ahead and post this on the necessary channels. Congratulate Cleon for his well done. I'll take some in real life pictures this weekend. Hopefully I don't forget, and we'll take pictures of the event and kind of let you know how that goes. So really excited for a fun weekend coming up. Otherwise, let me know if you have questions. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.